Hello, hello, friends. Stacey Dickerson popping in to say hello and to talk to you about, for the sake of business, let's talk stories. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I wanted to touch base with everybody and just say how proud I am of you for working and joining and coming along this far in the last 3 months. The most exciting time is ahead of us. And I say that now with calm and with peace and with excitement that we haven't even started yet here at Shackley. And what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today is how you're feeling. How are you feeling and how are you communicating with people? So let's go. Grab a coffee. I won't be that long, under 10 minutes. But I have some things that I really want you to think about. And first, I want to tell you a little story about something that was pretty cool. And it was a little bit of an aha moment for me. I was given this book before I went to Chicago. Somebody gave it to my friend. My friend owns a very successful business, and somebody gave it to her. And she's always, oh, this is your jam, not mine. So she gave it to me, and I'm like, oh, thank you very much. So we get to Chicago, and Roger puts up on the screen suggested book list, and that was one of them. And I was like, oh, well, isn't that timing? So I dove into it. I haven't gotten far into it yet, but the first chapter really grabbed me because it talked about medical staff and the book's about longevity, and that's what we're doing here, right? Like we're talking longevity. We want to live longer, better. So and in saying the longer piece, you know the drill. We want to have quality of life longer. Um we want to take it to the max as long as we can. So the point of the first chapter, it spoke about the medical field and how they are trained to save us. They are trained to keep us alive. And I started thinking about that, and then I'm like, okay, if that's their job to keep us alive, they don't even see us until we're at that point that we need them to keep us alive or we need them to make us better. And you'll hear me speak a lot about positioning. And I'm like, if that's the doctor's job, and sometimes we poo-poo on doctors and we get a little upset with them, but we don't see them and they're not, you know, tapping into our world to tell us what we should be doing the 20 years before we get to that point that we need them. Does this make sense? Okay. So we have the doctors that we need when we're sick or at the end when they're trying to keep us alive. But it's that time before we get to them that we need to start thinking about. We need to start um, taking inventory of. We need to start understanding that that's our time to be responsible. That's our time to maybe extend the next visit or altogether stop what we have to go to them for. But here at Shackley, it's kind of also our position to help others understand those years prior to the end that we need to be doing the right things. And in saying that, we need to be offering people what we have so they understand that being proactive rather than reactive at the end is a much better place to be. We need to help people understand that investing in your wellness rather than in your illness is a much better place to be. So if nothing else, I want you to maybe think about that as an approach that's your hat. That's your position here is to help people learn a few things to do right before they get to that other end of their journey. So I don't know, that really struck me hard. It really gave me a little bit more posture to think there's a few things I can offer. There's a few things I know that I may have a little bit more knowledge than the average Joe, and if that's the case, then that's what I need to go and what my message needs to be. Now, oftentimes we get in a crowd of people and people will say, "What do you do? What do you do?" Right? Or we ask, "What do you do?" And then we get that asked back. And a lot of times, we will just lead with our 9 to 5. And I hope that everybody here is following that up with what you're doing in your 5 to 9. Or I hope that if you do this full time, that you are confident enough to tell them what you are doing. And I think some of us may be lacking in that department. I think some of us may be not standing tall, having posture, and being proud of what it is that you have and what it is that you are doing. In order to be able to have that conversation and have it flow, you need to have your story down pat. And that's what I wanted to talk to you today about is designing your story. And I don't care what you do. I don't care what your background is. You are an expert in your life. Plain and simple. Nobody else is an expert in your life. You have pieces in your life that are unique to you, which makes you a unique person, a unique individual to deliver a message needed to somebody else. Who is that somebody else? That is you yesterday. So I want you to think about that the next time somebody asks you, "What do you do?" I want you to be prepared. I want you to be armed. I want you to be excited to tell them. So sometimes, again, we get a little tripped up. So here's something that I want you to do. I want you to write down on a piece of paper all your past experiences, your education, where you've lived, how many kids, whether you have kids, whether you're married, all the feels, all the things about you that make you you. And then I want you to look at that list and I want you to be proud. And I want you to see how you can connect this business with each and every piece of that puzzle. Because when we talk to people, we're not going to spit out the same story every single time. We're going to connect with that person and we're going to curate it to fit into their life. And I know for a fact the list that you write out is going to match with those that you're talking to in some sense. There's going to be some point that you can weave that in, weave your story in. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that piece of this puzzle, and I'll give you a little example. Okay, I'll give you a little example. My name is Stacy. We've said that. I'm meeting someone new. I'm having small talk with this person, and I'm generally going to ask, "Hey, how's it going? What do you do?" And they're going to in return ask me that. And I can say with confidence, I was in education for 23 years. And then I evolved from the littles, and now I help educate um, people of all different sizes, all different lifestyles on their health and wellness. That's what I do. Okay. Now I can also say, if I'm speaking to a gym owner, I can say, I help people that own wellness facilities diversify their income and leverage their time to generate extra income. Do I have to be totally fit and skinny and whatever, muscular to talk to a gym owner? No, that's not my job. That's their job. My job is from a business purpose, business sense, to talk to them about leveraging their income, leveraging their time. Frank, I'm gonna have to start all over again. Damn it.